What's up, guys? So I got the blue Silverado in the shop. You guys remember what it looked like? Go back to the first video if you want to see the full walk around outside. But we're gonna start ripping all this stuff off the outside today. Start with the easy stuff. Took the grill off already to get at this brush guard, grill guard, whatever you call it. Gonna rip that off, and then the bug deflector, and then start going down the side and just ripping everything off that I can. So we'll get started on the grill guard. So those bottom two were really rusted together, but they came out decently easy. These two top ones, what do you know, rusted together too. Well, that took way longer than it should have when all the bolts were rusted together, so I had to cut like half of it to get it off. But so these brackets are still rusted on here. I'm not really sure how to get those off, but just gonna move on to this bug deflector now and rip that off a minute, since that should be easy. So I'll have to come back to those two little brackets some other day, but I also see that one of my tow hooks is cut off or snapped off, one of the two. So I got the grill back in, bug deflector and the brush guard off, so it's a little different now. Needs a wash. So I'm gonna keep ripping stuff off. I'm gonna go to these bed rail caps next. Just keep ripping stuff off. I got the caps pulled off. I'm gonna have to go power wash it off before I try to start getting all this glue off, but this side, the glue or double-sided tape came off a little better than the other side, but we'll keep moving. I want to take all this chrome trim off the side, but some of it's behind the fender flares, so I'm gonna just pull the flares off a minute. I know it's really, really ugly behind the back ones, but we're gonna find out what's behind the front ones. So got all the flares pulled off, and pretty ugly. Driver fender's dented. It's not really rusty, but we'll go to the back here. Not much left of the bed. Not much left of the bed. And the passenger fender, pretty much shot, rusted through. A little bit of an update here. I'm trying to stay out of the wind here, but sorry if there's any wind noise. Those last clips you saw were from about 2 weeks ago. So I got busy with the interior. You guys saw those videos and the remote shifter, but thought I'd give a little update here. So did do a couple things off camera. My driver's side mirror was broken, so I got a new mirror, and I also got some black plastic caps to replace the ugly chrome ones. The passenger one was kind of cracked a little bit. And like I said, the driver mirror was totally broken. Got a new mirror from a junkyard, 35 bucks. So I got the black caps on there. It looks a lot better than those ugly chrome ones. So I also started pulling off these moldings got the driver ones pulled off. Give you a little story of what happened here. In those last clips you saw, I was doing that other stuff in the front and everything. Got to the back here, decided I want to pull this chrome strip off the bottom of the tailgate, which is obviously off as you see now. But I was heating it up, pulling it off, got to about right here. Didn't heat it up good enough. Sliced my hand pretty good. It was like a razor blade. So that's why I quit working on that particular day. But we're getting back at it today, pulling moldings off and stuff. I want to pull all that chrome stuff off, be more careful this time. That stuff is really sharp and it's pretty stuck on there. So also, if you remember from the first video I showed of this truck, you might remember a wiring plug for the trailer sticking out where the license plate is, looking really ugly, and the hitch was an aftermarket hitch. So I went and put it on my factory hitch off my 04, which wasn't really right for that truck. It's not really right for this truck either. The bumper holes, I'll get out of the wind here. The bumper holes didn't really line up, but I made it work. It looks a lot better than the one that was on there. So I wanted to leave like maybe this Silverado badge on there, but as you can see, the bow tie was starting to peel up, so I just pulled it off. We'll end up pulling all that stuff off. I'll also pull these 1500 badges off, and I'm going to pretty much pull everything off that I can. And maybe if I want to put something back on, I can decide that later. Also, briefly before I start pulling stuff off again, I'll share my plans a little bit. So as you saw from the clips from the couple weeks ago or whatever that was, the front fenders are both pretty much shot. Box is pretty much shot. Hood is pretty much shot. The paint is pretty ugly. So if I'm going to have to replace fenders and stuff, I figured I'll end up doing the cat-eye conversion. So I did pick up some fenders already from a junkyard. I'll show those in the future video when I do the conversion, but decided I'm going to do the cat-eye, and I'm also going to look for a rust-free box. Just throw that one away, slap a new box in there. That'll be the easy stuff. So I'm just doing stuff that I know how to do first, and then I'll be stuck with the rocker rust. We'll have to see if I can tackle that someday, but I'm going to start with the fenders and try to find a rust-free box to throw on there. I also got some cheap aftermarket 03 cat-eye taillights. Might throw those on there today. We'll see. So I'm not going to film every single thing I pull off, but just give you an idea what this is like. You can actually pull these off with your hands without any kind of tools if you can get started. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to get started, and they just pull right off. Got the easy stuff pulled off. Went to start pulling the chrome off the bottom. Gonna have to use some heat, be a little more careful than the last time. As you see, cut right through these gloves, but with some heat, hopefully it'll pull off pretty easily. But kind of sucks that I have to pull the stuff off the fender and the box, which I'm not gonna end up keeping in the end. Well, I just pulled the one off the driver fender. That's what it looks like underneath there. Hopefully it doesn't look like that under any of the ones on the doors, because the doors actually are in pretty decent shape. But like I said, I'm gonna replace the fenders, so just another reason to do that. That's pretty ugly. Well, here's where we're at now. That stuff was a bit of a nightmare to get off. I'm feeling getting that adhesive off is going to be a bigger nightmare though. So what I did was took a little plastic scraper, got it started on a corner, had an extra hand helping me with the heat gun, just hold it to where I was about to pull it off, and then I grabbed the little corner with a plier and pulled it off. So if it's not heated up good enough, I'm pretty sure I could pull a semi with the weight of that stuff. I'm not kidding about that either. But with enough heat, it pulled off a little easier at least. So I think I'm gonna just power wash it off a little bit to get some of this dirt off that was behind the factory moldings at least. Alright, so give her a little quick wash. Here's how I think I'm going to leave it for this video. Thinking about making a separate video for showing the different techniques that I like to use to get this double-sided tape off and adhesive. Probably take the pinstripe off too. Get all the rest of the adhesive off. Also forgot to mention I took the Broncos 4x4 stickers off. And get the remaining adhesive off for that, but here's how it looks as of now after ripping everything off like you saw. Stay tuned for the cat-eye conversion, everything else that I have planned for this truck. It's going to be more of a long-term type project rather than just get it done in a weekend, so stay tuned for all the little updates here and there. Hopefully get it looking nice here pretty soon in the future. Thanks for watching.